The damage to portfolios in precious metals was less severe compared to other sectors. Precious metals are still seen as a good investment, despite the thesis not playing out as expected. The arithmetic of physical precious metals continues to be attractive, as they have historically performed well during times when people were concerned about maintaining purchasing power in their savings assets. With interest rates on savings being lower than the rate of inflation, it causes concerns. This is currently the case with US Treasury Bonds, which offer a 4% return on a currency that is deteriorating in terms of purchasing power by 8%. The opinion is held that gold is fighting against return-free risk and will ultimately be successful. Despite not performing as well as expected, it has still performed better than feared. In the last 40 years, there has been a stable economic environment, and people are more confident than they were in the 1970s and early 1980s. However, factors such as rising death rates, increasing government debt, high government spending, and low interest rates that harm savers could make gold more attractive as an investment. It's worth noting that the gold market is relatively small, and a small shift in investment from other assets, such as bonds to gold, could lead to a significant increase in the price of gold. It's uncertain when this might happen, but some experts have predicted that the price of gold could reach $10,000. However, the circumstances that would lead to such a high price for gold would also have a significant impact on the rest of the economy. Central banks around the world are also buying more gold as a way to protect their economies from potential interference by the US government. The United States has been using its power as the dominant global currency to exert influence on other countries and their economies, such as freezing the assets of political opponents and limiting their access to the international banking system, SWIFT. This has led other countries to seek alternative ways to conduct international transactions and to protect their own economies from potential interference by the US government. Individual investors should also consider the increasing role of the US government in their personal financial affairs. There is a concern that political opponents of the government could have their assets frozen, even if they are held in domestic banks or denominated in domestic currency. This has led some to fear that their own government could become as intrusive as the US government is perceived to be. Central banks around the world are also increasingly aware of the fragility of their own nation's finances and are looking for ways to protect their economies from potential economic shocks. For example, the Bank of Japan holds a high level of domestic debt and historically high deficits, which has led them to be more cautious about other countries' economies. Central banks are purchasing less sovereign bonds from other countries due to concerns about their financial stability. For example, a leader like Premier Xi of China may be in conflict with the United States and may not want to finance them or give them the benefit of low interest rates, especially when the currency they are receiving is depreciating by a significant rate. This makes the actions of central banks buying gold easier to understand. Individual investors should also consider if they have similar concerns about their own government spending, potential intrusion in their personal affairs, and the compensation they receive for the risks they take in lending money. If the answers to these questions are yes, then perhaps they should consider following the actions of central banks and invest in gold. It is concerning that governments may have the ability to issue an unlimited amount of currency without considering market conditions, and to even cancel or control the currency digitally and assign people a social score based on their actions. To avoid the potential dangers of government control of digital currency and social scoring, it may be beneficial to increase the use of cash in society. Society improves not because of government, but despite of it, and it's because of the wealth and progress created by individuals. The society in the United States and Canada is diverse and creative enough to generate enough individual wealth to support the collective mistakes made by the government. The response of a government to certain protesters in Ottawa, Canada, was extra-legal. This was considered terrifying. It is not only concerning when the government closer to us acts in this way, but also when big thinkers around the world express this kind of will. This specific incident may have even inspired envy from other leaders. This is not an attractive circumstance. Despite this, it is believed that individuals have the ability to outthink the government. But just in case we fail, precious metals will be the best insurance against the clowns in power. Be sure to subscribe, and thanks for watching.